There is growing fallout today after a hack at Marriott exposed the information of up to 500 million guests. Addresses, dates of birth, and passport numbers were all compromised. The company says those affected have been alerted, and they've set up a website to provide updates as an investigation continues. The hack impacted the reservation database for Marriott International's Starwood properties. Some of those properties include Sheraton, Westin, St. Regis, and W hotels. CNET senior producer Dan Patterson joins me now. Dan, thanks so much for being with us. So are we to assume, if we've not yet been contacted, we're safe? That's way too much of wishful thinking.
That's hilarious, Tanya. Okay, so you should always, and when I say you here, I mean both consumers as well as companies, assume you've been hacked. Look, we've seen hacks like what happened with Marriott happen over and over and over again, enough so that there are databases we know of on the dark web and the clearnet that just we should operate with the assumption we've been hacked.
Right. So tell us again, how exactly did this hack happen, and what makes it so dangerous? They didn't just get credit card numbers. They got all kinds of identifying features that would allow the hackers to create false identities, correct?
Yeah, so this was the database tied to the customer reservation system that you said at the top here. The challenging aspect of this is that it looks like some data was encrypted, but oops, the hackers might have also got the encryption key as well.
Gosh.
So it's like locking the door to your front house, but giving the attackers the key to your front door.
How did they do this? Do we know?
Well, many of the details are still pretty opaque, and we'll learn over time. But it is nice that we have the GDPR, which kind of forces companies to disclose not just more frequently, but also more data about how data breaches and attacks happen. And it looks like that may have been what happened here.
So we can learn from that. Now, what is the takeaway here, not just for Marriott, but for all the companies that have our information?
We joke about it, but every company should assume you have been hacked, and really the best practices, in many respects what happened with Marriott is a worst practice scenario, and it can be studied and analyzed from their lack of prevention and detection systems all the way down to these encryption challenges. And what companies should do is study this, learn what Marriott did and did not do, and incorporate security instead of as an add-on after the fact.
Right.
From the very lowest level employee, your most recent hire, all the way up to the top. Security should not be an add-on. It should be fundamental and incorporated with every level of your company.
So Dan, I heard one security expert recommend that everyone should just freeze their credit, just as a precaution. Now that seems a little extreme to me, but have we gotten to that point where we just have to all freeze our credit?
I don't know that I want to prescribe freezing your credit after every data breach. Look, that's really hard to do. What you can do is go to haveibeenpwned.com, P-W-N-D, haveibeenpwned.com, and put in your email address or many email addresses and find out if you've been hacked. We also have on CNET some great prevention guides that are worth taking a look at because, look, right now it's hard for consumers, especially in the United States, to have recourse, but we do have a new Congress, and we have a younger, maybe more technologically sophisticated Congress.
So do you think that means that we'll be able to move forward to more regulations in the future?
Well, the Senate already has been talking about, hey, maybe we need some sort of regulation, or there need to be tougher penalties or something that look, if your data is attacked, it's not the company's data, it's your personal data. You suffer the ramifications of that, while the leaders who are in charge of this data might not.
Oh, I know. Look, I can tell you from experience, my husband had his identity stolen. It was a mess cleaning it up. I'm this close to just freezing my credit anyway, just out of a precaution.
It's probably a good idea. The challenge is that there are thousands of companies that have our data, and it's impossible to freeze and then unfreeze and then freeze and unfreeze your credit. What we really need to do is take ownership of our data and make sure, okay, hey, look, this is where my data has been hacked, this is where it hasn't been hacked, and then lock everything down.
I think we need more people like you to run for office that know about this stuff. Dan Patterson, thank you so much for joining us.